The Iran conflict is at a critical turning point with rising tensions, stalled diplomacy, and now a fresh proposal on the table. After weeks of confrontation, including disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, both Washington and Tehran remain locked in a high-stakes standoff. The US continues to apply pressure through blockades, while Iran has signaled that any meaningful talks must begin with a complete end to hostilities. Now, Iran has proposed a three-stage roadmap: ceasefire first, Hormuz next, and nuclear talks later. But the big question remains: is this a genuine opening for peace or a strategic reset in a prolonged geopolitical standoff? Joining us now to break this down is Elham Kadkhodaee, professor at the University of Tehran, an expert in international relations and West Asia geopolitics. Professor Elham, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on News9. I'm going to begin by asking you that straightforward question. Talk to us about this proposal. The whole world is watching. When do the next round of talks happen between the US and Iran? And now Iran has put forward this proposal. Is this a clear intent being signaled from Iran's end that we are ready for peace?
Well, of course, I think Iran has done this numerous times in each round of negotiations. Iran has sat at the table with a clear, doable plans for reaching peace that are, in a way, also, respecting Iran's independence. The problem has always been with the other side. I mean, with the last two rounds of negotiations, we were met by actual attack by the Americans and the Israelis. This time around, we have to wait and see what they're going to do, how they are going to react to Iran's proposal. But I think the detailed issues that are discussed and set and explained in this proposal demonstrate that Iran is actually very much serious in its approach to negotiations and its approach to reaching peace. But at the same time, Iran does not agree to any form of deal that is going to mean a kind of surrender, what Trump has stated that he wants from the Iranian side. Basically, the idea here in Iran is that what Trump is after is to bring Iran down to its knees, and this is not going to happen. Even a military strike has not brought that about. So the Americans have to, in a way, be more serious and be more respectful in their approach towards the Iranians.
Okay, Elham, I want to ask you this as well. Trump has spoken about this as to, there's confusion as to who is in power in Iran, who is taking the decisions, the final calls in Iran. Even if this proposal comes to the table, the US would be asking, if we agree to this proposal, what is the guarantee that this is the proposal that will be implemented? So is there a confusion? What is the, behind the scenes as far as the administration of Iran is concerned? Who holds the power at this stage?
I think it's ironic that the Americans are asking this question, because the previous time that we had an agreement with the Americans, the JCPOA, it was the Americans that unilaterally decided to come out of that deal. And it was specifically Trump in his previous administration. He stated that he does not see the JCPOA as a good deal, even though it was ratified by the last American administration, which represented the American people. But still, he just decided that he didn't like it and that he could reach a better deal. So I think any ambiguity as to, following through any deal that we reach, that is on the American side. On the other hand, about the kind of rumors that they are instigating about Iran, I think the problem is that maybe the Americans don't know anything about the Iranian political system. For us in Iran, everything is very much clear. We have very clear political institutions. We have
all right.
A legal basis for them, the law in each situation. We have gone through quite a few crises in the past couple of years, and the political process in Iran has been just running smoothly. We have replaced a president, we have replaced the supreme leader. So many.
But there are so many questions, Professor Elham, over the new supreme leader.
Assassinated by the Americans, but still.
Professor Elham, so many questions regarding Mojtaba Khomeini and his current status as the new supreme leader.
Well, yes, the new supreme leader is Mr. Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini. It's clear who he is. Everyone knows about him. He is the son of the previous supreme leader. I think the problem that the Americans and the Israelis have right now is that, they probably want to assassinate him next, so they can't find him. So they make rumors about, where is he and what is he doing. But for Iranians, it's very clear that he is safe and sound somewhere, and that he is leading the nation. That's, I think, what's important for Iranians. He has issued many different messages to the Iranian people, and he is directing the Iranian politicians. And I think the political system in Iran is operating to a great degree like what it was before in the war. It's just, the people have changed. Again, because of the assassinations, you have different names, but still the structure and the system is working as it was before. It's understandable that there might be some issues that the Americans cannot understand or are not willing to understand, but I think that's their own problem here.
Okay. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, made a second trip to Islamabad in 2 days before, moving on to have talks in Moscow with Russia. Can you tell us what exactly has been the takings after those two meetings in Pakistan?
Well, probably there has been a kind of an exchange of indirect messages. Probably, I do not have any actual information on that, but what people are guessing is that there's been a kind of an exchange of indirect messages between Iran and the United States regarding the details of, the preconditions to any future talk. But still, again, I mean, given the rhetoric that's coming out of the United States, I myself am not that much optimistic about how they're going to react. Again, they are going to set some preconditions that are not going to be respectful to the Iranian side. I mean, talking about taking away the right of the Iranians to nuclear enrichment, that's something that the Iranians find as a red line. This was a red line for us before this war, and even now I think it's more serious because of the experience that we have had with the war. I think the Iranians are a bit more ferocious when it comes to the way they are negotiating with the Americans.
One last question, Professor Elham, before I let go of you. Tell us, from Iran's point of view, what is the path to peace? It has proposed this three-stage proposal. The first one is ceasefire, which technically we are under already. The next is obviously the Strait of Hormuz. So if three parts of the proposal and we're already in a ceasefire, what is Iran planning to do with the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, from the Iranian perspective, this is not technically a proper ceasefire. On the American side, we have a blockade, a naval blockade, and everyone knows that a blockade is an act of war. So first of all, that needs to be solved in a way. And again, with the ceasefire in Lebanon, because Iran has stated that it views all of the region and the different resistance forces in the region as one front. So even people might call it a ceasefire, but still we're seeing that on a daily basis, Lebanese civilians are being assassinated and killed by the Israelis. Also, the civilian infrastructure in the south of Lebanon is being destroyed. So according to this, these realities, I don't think that we are technically in a ceasefire, that we don't have that kind of large-scale actual combat between Iran and the Americans, but still this is not, you're not able to call this situation a ceasefire.
Fair enough. We will leave it at that. Professor Elham Kadkhodaee, professor at University of Tehran, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on News 9.